Today we are sitting with our security consultant Mr. Naz. Here we have some questions regarding SIA Approved Contractor Scheme. Mr. Naz, what is SIA ACS?
SIA ACS is Security Industry Authority Approved Contractor Scheme. So any company who is willing to apply for ACS, they need to go ahead with the British standard compliance and need to apply for ACS. So that's Security Industry Authority Approved Contractor Scheme.
Well, why we need SIA ACS?
This is a voluntary scheme. Any company who is looking forward to go ahead in the security business or willing to show that they are doing more compliance with the British standard BS 7858, BS 7499. So they need to apply for SIA ACS. So they need ACS for that purpose.
Mr. Naz, what is self-assessment workbook in SIA ACS?
Self-assessment workbook have 7 criteria, and they have questionnaires which need to be filled up, what currently any security business is doing and what is their future plan, whatever they are currently doing, compliance with British standard, they need to write it down in these questionnaire. So basically self-assessment workbook is a number of questions which any company need to answer to SIA what they currently doing.
What are the main criteria in SIA ACS workbook?
There are 7 criteria in self-assessment workbook which they need to fulfill all these criteria if they are looking to go ahead with ACS. The first one is strategy. So strategy belongs to what is your company business plan, what is your mission statement, what is your short-term plan, medium-term plan, long-term plan, communications. So that comes under strategy. The next criteria is process, service delivery. So how are they going to do quotation, service level agreement, site survey, risk assessment, assignment instructions. Then it comes client relationship. They look into like purchasing side, how you communicate with your suppliers, client relationship in terms of your client site visits, client meetings, that comes under that. Next is your financial side. So financial side, you look into it, how you're gonna cope with all these finance side like payroll, company house, you need to submit the company accounts. So you need to pay minimum wage to your employee, that comes under that. Then next is people. Are you compliance with British standard BS 7858? Are you doing the screening and vetting? And the next is, then there is another leadership. Leadership is how your leaders are behaving. As a director of the business, are you the role model? So these are all the criteria which any company needs to fulfill that one is.
How SIA Consultancy can assist you to fill SIA ACS workbook?
How we will help is, first of all, we will provide you all QMS documents, all policies, all procedures. When you have all these documentation in place, you will start implementing these into your business. When you implement it, basically you are complying with the British standard and complying with the self-assessment workbook questions. So that's the way we will help you in filling the self-assessment workbook, telling you what should be the right answer, because basically all these details, all these processes, whatever we will provide you are already doing it into your business. Now you need to write it down in the workbook. Yes, we have a company business plan. We are doing these things. We have a short-term plan, medium-term plan, long-term plan. We're doing site visits. We are using this form for that purpose. We have a complaints policy. We have a recruitment policy. So all these policies, procedures already will be delivered to you, given to you. Now you are implementing it. Only thing is you need to write it down into the self-assessment workbook. Thus you are complying with the British standard. You are complying with ACS standards. And thus you will submit to SIA, and that's the way we will help you in implementing and guiding you to fill out the self-assessment workbook.
Mr. Naz, what is eligibility criteria of SIA ACS?
SIA ACS, there was no eligibility criteria before, but now, last few years, they have a eligibility criteria. Minimum 2 licensable staff on a payroll. And you need to have one ongoing contract for the 12 months. Either you want to apply for security guarding, you need to have a security guarding contract. If you want to apply for door supervision, you need to have a door supervision contract. So the minimum criteria for SIA ACS is you need to have one contract in which sector you want to apply. If you are applying for security guarding, you need to have a security guarding contract. If you want to apply for door supervision, you need to have a door supervision contract. And this contract should be for 12 months. Last 12 months, this contract should be running. And the next one is minimum 2 licensable staff working with you. So this is the minimum criteria.
What are the compliance for the companies to become SIA ACS accredited?
The compliance, there are, Private Security Industry Act 2001. That regulates all the security industry, Next is the compliance British standards. Very importantly is BS 7858, which is a screening and vetting standard, and BS 7499 is a security guarding standard. So BS 7858 tells you how you have employees into your business, how you do the recruitment, how you do the pre-screening, then limited screening, and then complete screening for the last 5 years. That comes under BS 7858. BS 7499, that basically covers the service delivery. What services you're going to provide them, like how you do the quotation. The next is service level agreement, what services, what terms and conditions you're going to set with the client. Then site survey, you're going to do the site survey. You go onto the site and check what type of a site it is, where the main door is, where the fire exit is, any fire before. You need to check these, that comes under site survey. Then you do the risk assessment. What risk involved for your security guards working on that site? You need to do the risk assessment. It is a traffic light system. Red is unworkable, green is safer zone, and then blue or yellow are danger zone. So basically, as a director of the business, you go into the site and do the site survey and risk assessment and check what risk involved for your security guards working on that site. Lastly, you prepare site assignment instructions, AIs, and the guard must sign on site assignment instruction. So in the end, I will repeat again that the compliance standards are BS 7858, BS 7499. There is another parallel standard, BS 10800. So you need to comply these British standards. And if you comply with these British standards, your company is going towards the getting SIA ACS. So that's the way we will help, and that's the minimum requirement to getting for ACS is.
Thank you, Mr. Naz. What is the process to become an SIA approved contractor?
To become an SIA approved contractor, the first step is compliance with the British standards. You need to comply with BS 7858, BS 7499. You comply, that's the first step. Next step is implementation. How you implement these British standards into your business, where we will help you, we will guide you, we will provide you some samples as well, So how to implement that British standard into your business, how to do the screening and vetting, how to complete the client file, where the problems are. So first step is having the documentation, compliance documentation. Second is implementation. Third stage is you need to apply to SIA and complete the self-assessment workbook. When they will give you eligibility letter, you will apply for the third-party assessment. And it depends on if you need us, we will be present on that day. So that's the ACS process is. It comes under 4 steps. The first step, I will repeat again, is first having all the QMS documentation, compliance with British standards. Second, you need to implement these standards into your organization. Third, apply to SIA. Fourth is, last stage is having the third party assessment.
How can SIA Consultancy help during SIA ACS process?
We help companies as I explained earlier, in terms of giving you all the company policies, procedures, all compliance documents, that's our help. Second stage, implementation, is our help. We will provide you help in implementation. How to implement this, how to have used these documentation. Sometimes just like you filling QBC 46, which is our site visit form, So you need to know what are the requirements of the standards. So we help companies in filling, completing and providing the samples of all these documentation. So we will help you having all the documents plus implementation, and in the last stage when the audit will take place, we will be present either online or in person, where we will be helping hand during the audit. If something, they ask some questions which you know already, but you're going on a wrong direction, so we will help you out. This is the right answer, or either you have done these bits, can you please explain to him or her during an audit, So that's our basically total help which we will provide you during all this process.
In which sectors we can apply SIA ACS accreditations?
You can apply SIA ACS only on those sectors in which you have the contract. If you have a contract in security guarding, you will apply SIA ACS only for security guarding. If you have a contract in door supervision, then you will apply the SIA ACS in door supervision sector. So only on those sectors you can apply in which you have a contract. Without having a contract, which is a minimum requirement for 12 months, ongoing contract and 2 licensable staff, you cannot be eligible or you cannot apply for SIA ACS.
Thank you, Mr. Nas. Now I am coming towards the benefits of having SIA ACS. What are the advantages or benefits for being SIA ACS accredited?
See, if you have an ACS, you always have an advantage to other companies. You are basically showing a compliance, the best compliance you are doing with the British standards. That's the difference between any other company and SIA approved company is. So that's the major difference. You have all policies in place, you have all procedures in place, you are complying with the British Standard 7858, 7499. You have a very good system installed into your business. Your employees are screened and vetted. Your client file, your site file is up to date. So basically, you are differentiating yourself from any other business. So that's the major difference. If any company have an ACS, this is the benefit they're going to get here. This is the advantage and benefit, whatever you can say. So that's the best, I believe, they can have it.
Mr. Nas, what is the cost of SIA ACS?
The cost, there are 3 parts of the cost. The first part belongs to us. Either you take our services online or in person. As online is cheap, in person you need to pay more. This is first step. You need to decide which services you want to take from us, online or either in person. And the sport level, whatever the sport level, either you need 24/7 sport services on WhatsApp group or either via email. So this is you need to decide. The second part, and you need to pay us. The second part is when you have met the SIA criteria, you will apply to SIA and you need to pay SIA fee to the application. It can be, if under 10 employees, 400, more than 10 is 800, and then it goes up. So this is the fee you need to pay at the time of SIA ACS application. And the next step is the third party assessment. Third party assessment, when you will submit your ACS application, the next stage is they will come to you, you need to apply to SIA for the audit. An auditor will come down, as that's called third party assessment. And you need to pay nearly 3,000 plus VAT. So these are the charges. So if I repeat again, very importantly, there are 3 parts of these costing. One is our cost. Second is SIA ACS application cost. Third one is the final audit charges. You will pay directly to them when the audit will take place, approximately 3,000 plus VAT for ACS only, I believe.
Thank you, Mr. Nas. Lastly, I would like to ask questions about the ACS assessing bodies. Which assessment bodies can conduct SIA ACS audit?
ACS assessment bodies, only 3 are left now, but I believe sooner or later they will add more. So one is BAB, British Assessment Bureau, the second one is SSAIB, and the third one is NSI. SIA will not come for the audit. They have linked with these assessment bodies, which are private bodies. They do audit on SIA behalf. They will come down for the 3 days. They will sit down with you. They will speak to your employees. They will go to the site. They will go to the client meeting, and they will check all your standard against the workbook, whatever you have submitted it regarding the British standards, whatever you have written down, they will write down whatever you currently doing in the audit, and that's the way these assessment bodies will conduct the audit. So only at this minute there are 3 assessment bodies, so they will increase more later on, I believe.
Mr. Nas, my last question is, what is involved in renewing SIA ACS accreditations?
When you want to renew the SIA ACS accreditation, it is a yearly audit. You need to conduct every year SIA ACS audit. So to show them you are doing the compliance, and every year the third party assessment will come down. They will come down, they will charge you, and you need to apply for it, and they will come and do the audit, and then they will submit report to the SIA, and then they will renew you every year. So this is a process for renewing ACS every year.
Thank you so much, Mr. Nas, for giving us time today.
Thank you very much for having me, and I'm grateful to you. I believe all these answers will help all our clients and all our new security businesses. Any person who is interested to open a security business, to run a security business, these answers will help them to get on the ladder. If they need to they have more questions, they can email us on admin@siaconsultancy.co.uk, or either they can contact me via on phone 07944830685. My name is Hanzala Nazir. I'm an IRCA approved auditor. So that's the way I will help my clients, and best of luck. Thank you very much.